This man has never knocked nobody out cold. He's a bully. He's slow. He has no skill, no footwork. He's awkward. And I have been giving him a name. Because he fights. When he's fighting, if you ever watch him in the ring, he drags like that after his opponent. and how's the mummy gonna catch me?
And all I had to do was to go out and beat a man who had no skill, no class. Seriously, the man had no skill. I don't know why the world is so foolish to believe in him and think that I wasn't going to win.
Well, when you say you're ready to go to war right now...
I see that guy on the street, I beat him before the fight.
You'd actually take him on before the fight?
Beat him like I'm his daddy. Basketball players out there, football players, they want to beat so bad, they want to get everybody. I'll go to Mars, I don't care.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
Hey, good evening, I guess in most areas of the world there. Welcome to another episode of Lights Out, where we dare to debate. So that's going to be our official slogan, right, Dart?
Absolutely.
No, and
that's fantastic.
And hey, believe me, it's going to catch on. And we're going to be, but today we got a special kind of impromptu reactionary thing because, as you've probably all seen, Bleacher Report dropped its pretty much triannual or whatever it is, top 100 player list, and everyone's reacted to it. So far be it from us to not jump in and see what we think about this list in the order. We're gonna give you our thoughts.
Yeah, I read the list a little bit, and I thought it was a little wild. Some of the positions, and yeah, no, I'm excited to do this. So, yeah, for you, what's a pick out of the top 10 that you think is something that a lot of people would disagree with that you actually agree with? But first, can you tell us what the top 10 is? Can you tell us what the top 10 is?
Yes.
Yeah.
On this list, the top 10 is you have kind of the usual suspects. You have Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Bill Russell, Shaq, Tim Duncan, Larry Bird, and then you have, and we'll just do by tens and we'll kind of chop it up. Will Chamberlain at 9, and then you have Steph Curry at 10. To be honest, this is, I mean, I'm a little unconventional when it comes to a top 10. I don't rank Bill Russell or Will Chamberlain just because they're in a separate type thing because they didn't have access to a lot of the accolades and achievements that these other players have. But if I was to take it away here, otherwise it looks like my top 10. I have Tim Duncan, or I have rather, we'll get into it as it goes along, but my takeaway from the top 10 is I just think, and people always do that, I think Magic Johnson is way too high. I mean, at 4, I think it's a ridiculous take. How about you, man?
Yeah, so I did have it like that before, where I had him in my top 5. I actually had him, I think I had him number 4 all time. Actually, that was where I had him before. However, I started looking at things tangibly, and I think intangibles you could push him up there. But I agree. I think that this is not the most ludicrous one for me, but I changed Magic to being my number 10. And because of some of the things compared to some of the other all-time greats, it didn't have the longevity or as much of the dominance across just all the awards, titles, and championships that he could have won. Now, one guy that I think who actually is number 10 on this list, which is Steph Curry, I think that is wildly wrong. I think he's farther down than that. So I have actually Steph Curry at number 25 all time.
Damn.
So,
Wow.
This is the tangible one. So intangibles, if you want to put them up there for cultural aspects and you want to put them up there for the 3-point shot, but when you look at his titles, his championships, and his awards, he should not be number 10. That's insane to have him number 10. And then even if you look at some of the other intangibles that people knock somebody like Kobe Bryant on, who is not in this top 10, which a lot of people had a lot of heat. They don't knock him. They don't knock him for having KD on the same team, but they do it for Kobe, to push him out of the top 10.
No, I think it's a wild double standard.
Mm-hmm.
Super. And no, I mean, other than that, like I have Tim Duncan top 5. I have Magic at 8. Just because you're right. I think there's other players who, and a big part to me is measurable team impact, right? Like if you just are, I'm not saying that you're not a part of it, but if you're dropped onto like the best all-time team and then you win, great. Your accolades and awards still count, sure. But even if I'm comparing you to a great all-time player who has similar accolades and achievements, but minus the ring count, but they were obviously meant far more to their team, I'm putting that player above you. Like, just, and I mean, as we go on there, we'll look at some of it. Guys like Akeem Olajuwon not making the top 10, I think is insane. Kobe at 11, I think is ridiculous. I have him at 7. I don't see how he's not top 10 when you look at his total resume. And the players say, really the only argument, like you said, the only thing keeping him out is the sidekick argument, which is stupid because his stats measure up, even during that time, measure up to any all-time great. And it's just,
Well, even just his recognition during that time, let alone winning the championships, he started winning all NBAs and all defenses, and even on the first team at the end, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of that three-peat. So it's, to say that he was a sidekick, but he's being recognized as the best in the league in some regard.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. I also have Hakeem top 10 now in respect to just, again, the tangibles. If any, I can accept him being moved down a little bit because he's kind of a quiet guy. He has his mystique. He has his icon. It's not that he doesn't have that. But I can see in contrast having Magic go higher and Hakeem go lower, just as an example, or Duncan going lower. You mentioned Duncan. I have him at number 7. And
that's
Kobe,
fair. More than fair.
And Kobe, I have at number 4, tangibly.
4. Oh well, so. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we have one. No surprise here. I think that it's going to be some time before we see like the top 3 really moved on a lot of these lists. I mean, obviously, you can argue about the order, but I don't really think that you'll see a lot of lists without these guys top 3 or 4, especially because it's like pretty much solidified. Like Kareem, they have a lot of their explanations aren't really too deep in. Obviously, they have the accolades and achievements listed here, but their criterias I don't think are super well thought out. And they'd probably be the first one, but I'm not super mad at the names on the list overall. Top 10, it's I don't see anything that is egregious. It's really just the order here for the top 10 before we move on.
Yeah, just Curry is the egregious one for me. Now
I have Curry at 10. LeBron. Oh yeah, tell me about it.
LeBron. So I have him at, when you mix his overall total career and his average recognition throughout his career, I have him at number 5. So I don't have him at number 2. I think I would switch that down a little bit. So that's going to be my other guy. And outside the Kobe, so Kobe's missing in it, but within the top 10. Yeah, I would move LeBron down quite a few spots. I think Duncan's about right. And move Wilt up.
Yeah.
But Curry, outside of the cultural stuff, and unless you really love the 3-point stuff, I mean, he wasn't winning Finals MVP. He did win unanimous MVP, cultural thing.
He has 2 MVPs. He has a Finals MVP. He's the best shooter in league history, which I think is saying something. He's very consistently, statistically. It's tough to me. It's tough to be. I would definitely though have guys like Kobe and Hakeem Olajuwon ahead of him, just because, of their two-way impact. And I tend to put those guys a little bit higher. That's why I like guys like Magic and LeBron, like a little bit lower. I don't think I always hate when I see Magic ahead. I get it, but like Magic ahead of Larry to me is just maybe shows a fundamental lack of understanding about the game. I don't know, but it's not something I harp on. But if you're gonna have Wilt Chamberlain at 9, you're gonna have to tell me why. Either you don't rank him, or he's got to be top 5, right? Same thing with Bill Russell.
Yeah, so with Wilt Chamberlain, I read the accolades in here, and they conspicuously leave out the 11 rebounding titles and the assist title, at least at the headline. So I think there was a little bit of some squeeze to push him down a little bit more. But yeah, Wilt Chamberlain, I have Wilt Chamberlain as having the second most potent career, and he could have had the most potent career, but a lot of the awards were not available back then. They only started allowing all defense within the end of his career. They didn't measure blocks or steals during the entirety of his career. Didn't have defensive player of the year. So those are some big factors of why his career wasn't as potent. I would imagine that his career would have been probably even more potent than Michael Jordan's. The total, I don't think it would have reached it, but it would have been a lot closer than what it is for everyone else. If looking at the totality of his career as a sum, so versus an average.
No, you're right. You're right. I think it's because he has the MVPs. And that's why it's tough for me to rank them, because you're right. Like if those things existed, he'd have maybe 3, 4, 5 block titles at least, 6, and like he'd have the all defensive team every year. He'd arguably have 3, 4, 5 DPOYs, something crazy like that. Maybe. Obviously Bill Russell, but it would be just categorically impossible to like challenge him and Russell's resumes if those things were available. Because it'd be, not to mention Bill Russell would have 8 Finals MVPs at least, maybe. It would be just insane to think about. Like, no other players would be, and if you want to blame it on era or whatever, it wouldn't matter, because like we'd just be talking about these guys 1 and 2. Everyone else would be like, okay, cool. Anyway, but
Russell for me, in comparison to somebody like LeBron, Russell's career on average was more potent than LeBron's. And the only guys that have had a more potent career across anything that they could have earned, but again, across all time, not a direct comparison, because you got to make it you got to go to the lowest common denominator. But Russell, even with all of that considered, still has the fourth most potent career. In respect to LeBron, LeBron is the eighth. So when you go, but the thing that kills Russell in comparison to guys like LeBron or Kareem or even Jordan and Wilt and Kobe and Duncan and Hakeem, a lot of those guys outside of Wilt, but he was just so dominant that it equaled out in his totality, is that his career was significantly shorter than those other ones, or at least by a couple seasons. And then again, with the awards available, so somebody like Jordan, he wasn't able to win the all defenses, which, really across that award that's highly recognized at this point, you can't give it to him because it's just conjecture, which is a shame. But a lot of it is just affected by the length that he played of his career.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think it's tough to. I think a lot of, like, we have opinions on that too, where it's one thing to play a long time and accomplish a lot. It gets really tough to maintain a certain level of excellence, right? Like afterward, but then we have this. I think that's why I put LeBron so high, and like because it's regardless of what you want to say about accolades and achievements, the production is consistently better than anyone else's, like past a certain time frame. And I think that's can't be overstated. But Kobe at 11, and this is going to be, to me, this is where the disrespectful, because what's the justification other than the Shaq thing? How do you keep this man outside the top 10? He's way ahead of Curry. Like he smokes him in all NBAs. He smokes him all defensive. How can he be tied for the most all defensive first team selections of all time and not be top 10? You have an MVP. You have 2 Finals MVP. You have 5 rings total. You have the totals. It's insane. It's just he has a lot of things up there with himself. It's just, to me, there's no justification to having, like, I put him above guys like Magic and Larry easily, to me. But I don't know. There's like a concerted effort to keep him outside, I think.
Absolutely. I got Kobe number 4 all time when you consider both the average and the total. I think that I agree. I think it's wildly disrespectful. And then even people mock the All-Star game nowadays, but somebody like Kobe Bryant took pride in playing in that game. And it showed with the amount of All-Star MVPs that he got, having tied the most all time with Bob Pettit, and he has the award named after him. So you have that. He also won the scoring titles that you had not mentioned. And yeah, he's just an absolute fantastic player, cultural icon on top of it for the intangibles. So, and a lot of it this list has to do with recency bias, candidly. And it's just amazing that they did not put him in there. It seems that there has been lately a lot of Kobe hate per se. So yeah, this is probably the wildest top 10 one, or somebody out the top 10. Who are the other people? So what's 12 through 20?
Yeah. So the bottom 20, obviously we got Kobe. Then we have Hakeem. I have some thoughts on that too. Then we've got Kevin Durant, Oscar Robertson, 14. 15 is Jerry West. Okay. Kevin Garnett at 16. Okay. I have some thoughts there. Jokic at 17. Okay. And then rounding out the top 20, which we'll discuss, is Dirk at 18. David Robinson at 19, which I think is egregious. And Julius Erving at 20, which is an interesting placing for him. But, okay, yeah. I mean, we discussed Kobe, but I think we have different thoughts on our guy here, Hakeem, right?
No, well, yeah, I think Hakeem really should be higher, but I don't think it's too wild. I don't want to jump the gun because I know you want to talk about Hakeem. What are your thoughts on this? Where do you got Hakeem? I got Hakeem at number 9 with my tangible list.
I honestly have Hakeem at 5. To me, it's just like he has the All NBA stuff, he has the All Defensive Awards, he has the DPOY, he has an MVP, like he checks every box. Obviously, less to a degree than some other players, but the main thing about Hakeem is that you can argue he's a top 2 or 3 defender of all time, and it shows across the entirety of his career. And like, to me, when you're dropped into a situation where you're expected to be a foundational, the best player on your team, right from the jump, turn the franchise around, and be the best player on both ends. To me, there's very few players who have done that to the degree that Hakeem has. Like Russell, great defender, best defender on the team, 100%. But he was nowhere near the best offensive option. He didn't have to be because he couldn't. I don't think he'd have that skill set. He was the 4th or 5th guy on every single championship run, right? Generally speaking. You got, I think David Robinson is up there for me too. He did the same thing, but obviously he doesn't have quite the resume. But you got guys like, LeBron did it for a while. Shaq did it, for a long time. Jordan, obviously, you can say what you want about Pippen, but Mike was always a top 10 defender in the league. But to me, Hakeem is, I think, the most impactful two-way player ever, especially if you look at the situation he was in. And I don't think that it gets enough run from whoever makes these things. And they don't really look at things like that. All they look at is really like, like who has the most of this or whatever. And that's why you get guys like Magic above Hakeem Olajuwon, which I think is insane.
Yeah, I think it's close for both of those guys. But with Hakeem, he had that fantastic season where, if I'm not mistaken, he won the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and the championship with the Finals MVP. And the All-Star, or All-NBA, All-Defense first teams, and I think a blocks title, maybe a rebound, or I think it's a blocks title and maybe a scoring title too. I have to look it up again. But absolutely fantastic player over the length of his career. And I am a Hakeem hater, I got to tell you. I think the mystique behind Hakeem, I think it does kind of fall upon, and there's some guys too. I'm going to shout them out right now. I think Reggie Miller is massively overrated. I think that one guy that I famously think is overrated is Patrick Ewing. I think Patrick Ewing is so overrated in respect to all time. He's obviously a fantastic all-time great, but in respect to people wanting to put him top 20, stuff like that, absolutely not. I got to look at to find him even on my list. Where are you, Patrick Ewing?
Have you seen it? I don't know. I've seen a top 20.
What's that?
He's not top 20 here. He's not top 20 on this list.
I got Patrick Ewing number 58. That's where I got him. But people talking about how great of a big man he was. Yeah, no, he's not. He's overrated. And I'm going to tell you one other guy that I think is so overrated. Again, I think he's one of my favorite players. But for somebody who's saying he's absolutely fantastic, Reggie Miller. I think he's more entertaining just being a talking head. But Reggie Miller, I think, won like 3 All-NBAs and 2 All-Stars his entire career, and that's it. Like that's his level of awards. Obviously a fantastic three-point shooter. He had the they made some pretty deep playoff runs a couple of times. But what did it really result in outside of his infamy per se with against Michael Jordan?
I mean, I've never really seen like a list where I was like, I took exception to where he was ranked. I agree with you. I think that he's probably a little bit overrated the way he's spoken about. I mean, he wasn't like a transcendent player, but once you get past a certain point, like top 20, top 30, you start to see, the names are all become like, the order is there. I mean, I would never put Patrick Ewing that low. I think he's a top 30 player just because I think he was one of the best defensive big men of all time. I think that's proven. Obviously he doesn't have the winning or anything like that, but I don't think you can put him outside like the top 40. I think that's pretty, but I mean, if you want to say he's overrated, that's fine. But let's, we got KD
Is he 13? Am I reading that right?
Yeah, he's 13.
Oh my God, that's terrible too.
Hey,
I got
disclaimer.
KD number. Yeah, what's up?
I was like, disclaimer. This is actually where I have Kevin Durant too, 13 to 14 range.
Oh my God, I got him number 22. I mean, this is not the most egregious one. I can't wait, and I'm gonna shout out the guy that one of my buddies who loves this guy, but man, there's this one guy in this top 20 who is so overappreciated. Overrated is probably a mistake to say, but overappreciated. I'm gonna shout him out and I'm gonna let him have it. But Kevin Durant, yes, again, he's one of these guys that yes, he's made a lot of all-star teams, but the all NBAs a lot less than what you would think for somebody who is lauded as such a fantastic offensive player. Everyone talks about how efficient he is with the 50, 40, 90s. He can score at all three levels. Some people like to say he's even an above average defender, although he's never made the all defensive team. I mean, that doesn't mean that you're not above average, but to the point of it is that he's not fantastic in the all-time sense of it. He's got the 4 scoring titles, and he's got the 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs, and I think he won the 1 MVP. So is he a fantastic player? Yeah, but is he 13? Absolutely not. I don't see how you put him there. The only thing that I think that people would want to have him there is particularly for his offensive prowess, that cultural bias where people just feed all of that down to you, but they really don't explain the results. They just talk about the production and the efficiency. So why do you have him there?
I mean, and I think this is where some people differ. I think, or you and I were looking at some of these players, is that I agree. I mean, obviously, when we're taking everything into consideration, you'll see things like finals MVPs and overall ring count, and that matters to a degree. I just think that my main thing is what does the production look like versus how impact for you to your team. Obviously, I think that it's incredible. I mean, if someone who's played 17 years, right, and has that kind of a stat line, while being the alpha on just about every team, if not every team, it's unheard of. And if he maintains that stat line, let's say until he's going to be in Houston next year, right? So if he maintains that stat line to where he retires, that's going to be just almost unheard of, where you see someone that efficient across all 3 levels for his entirety of his career. Yeah, I mean, with the All-NBAs, no all-defensive team. That's why I can't put him any higher myself, because I want the two-way players a little bit higher typically, unless you're just transcendent of an aspect of the game. But I have him I mean, if someone wants to say he's top 20, I don't have a problem with that. I personally have him like 13, 15, just because of the enormity of how impactful or how great he is offensively. And obviously he has the 2 finals MVPs, the MVP. He's not, I don't think you can make it the case that he's top 10. It's tough, but I don't know. KD is a divisive one for sure. But it's, if someone says no, I have him lower, it's fine. But I think outside of like top 20 or something, it's tough for me to say that.
Who you got next on this list?
Yeah, moving on. We got Oscar Robertson,
number 14. I have it number 15, so it's actually pretty close for me.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, especially in respect to the assist titles and the scoring titles that he was able to. I think he got 1 scoring title. I think he got 4 assist titles off the top of my head, if I'm not mistaken. He had the All NBAs. He won the championship, and all the All Stars that came with it. So, and then let alone if you just look at the totals and you look at his production over his career, first triple double guy. What's really not to say about him? They didn't have the all defense available. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think this is right?
I mean, I like him a lot too, because you talk about well-rounded players. 7-time assist champion, 12 All-Star, NBA Rookie of the Year. Obviously, didn't have the good fortune to win a ton of rings, but when you look at, he was great. He was like, don't want to, but the LeBron before LeBron was there, right? Look at the stat line: 25, 7, and 9 for a career, and he shot 48%. So he was wildly efficient for his time. He was lethal in every aspect of the game, right? So I think, if anything, he's underrated, but he's just that super consistent guy. And he might have the best ending stat line ever. I mean, at least one of them, right? So, to me, yeah, O-Rob's right there. You know, it's tough for me to say that he's higher because, you know, obviously we have to stay consistent with some of the accolades and stuff. But if just raw production, he's up there with the greats.
All right. Let me ask you
Jerry
about
West.
this guy. I want to ask you about Jerry West. Where do you have Jerry West? Is he right?
Jerry West, I have as a top 20 player. I don't have him any higher than like what you see here, just because he was great statistically. He was one of the first truly great two-way players, I would say. I mean, especially at the guard position. It's just, you know, he was, you know, 9-time All-Defensive. Like, he was, you know, the accolades speak for themselves. I mean, there wasn't a lot of winning, and I'm not going to make a lot of excuses because whatever, but he was fantastic guard. I mean, you know, 12 maybe. I don't care that he's a logo. It's just, you know, he was a great player. I've seen lists where he's like top 5, which I wildly disagree with. I don't think he's a top 10 player all time. If you're being consistent. But I mean, I think especially in the playoffs, he's fantastic, but I think he's a top 20 player. You might go to a 25. But I mean, if they have him right here, I'm not insanely mad at it, but I think I'd put him close to probably 20, 21.
Yeah, I got Jerry West at number 27. And again, it's not that he couldn't have done it. It's just that there wasn't the all defenses available. Who knows? He could have potentially, I still don't think he would have won this one, but Defensive Player of the Year. And otherwise, he was winning all NBAs and all stars his entire career. I do believe he has the one scoring title. He's got the finals MVP. Really, what puts Jerry West higher for me is all those intangibles, being the logo, the icon that he has around basketball at large. And again, you could slide him up. I'm just giving my tangible list. It's so hard to measure it otherwise, but it just isn't enough. If you do a comparison with other all-time greats, he definitely matches up with pretty much any shooting guard over their career, especially with the raw stats as well, with the scoring, the respectable assists and rebounds as well. So just real fast, Jamal says top 10 players should be two-way players, great free throw shooting and championships over a player's entire career. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree. I mean, yeah, and the majority. I mean, the only non two-way players, I mean, that I think are in my top 10 here, Jamal, are Steph Curry and Magic Johnson. That the other ones there, at least to some degree, were two-way players, or, you know, best two-way players on their own team for sure, or impactful, or just not liabilities. You know, they were great. Like, I think my top 5 is Jordan, LeBron, Hakeem, Tim Duncan, and Kareem. Obviously, you can argue the 5 best two-way players in the game, especially if you're talking about for how long they did it. But I agree, it's tough for me to look at a player and put him a lot higher if he only played one side of the ball. And we agree that Jerry West was definitely a two-way player.
Absolutely. Who's next?
We got the big ticket, Kevin Garnett.
And what's that, number 15?
That is 16, Kevin Garnett.
I've got KG at number 19. So to me, that's not too far off. 4-time rebounding champion, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP champion, Finals MVP, All NBA, all stars, all defense throughout his entire career. I think it's about right. I mean, there's not, and then he, obviously his icon just for being such an intense player. having that skill set. A lot of people try to attribute to him to be one of these transcendent big men. What do you have to say about him?
Oh, I agree. I think he's right where he is. I mean, he was a force defensively. You know, who knows where he is if he's on one of those fantastic teams in the early 2000s, you know, and some of the Wolves, you know, but he was one of those guys who comes in and changes the culture of a franchise, and he was competitive. I think he's one of the 10 best defensive players of all time. And, you know, was a great two-way player. The accolades are there, 15 and 12. It's insane. I think only those matched alone by Kobe Bryant has that combination. Maybe Tim Duncan, but it's crazy. Like he stacks up with the greats. It's just obviously you don't have the ring count, you know. But I think he's top 20 is fine for Kevin Durant.
All right, who's next? Why don't you lead off with who's next?
Yeah, we got Joker. Is that contentious? We'll see.
Yeah. Where do you got him?
Joker, I have him right now I had him top 15. But 17 is fine. If he would have won the MVP last year, which I think he was robbed, he'd probably be a top 10 player for me right now. But Joker, I think, already has the best 5-year peak ever, probably. If you're just talking about production. But to me, 17, I think, is fine right now, because especially since he's only 10 years in and he's still going. Who knows what he's going to do the next couple of years? He definitely will be higher by the time his career ends. How about you?
I have not added him to my equation, so I only did it off of the top 75 players. But off the top of my head, really, he's got the 3 MVPs. He's got the championship with the Finals MVP, and I think he's only got 6 All-NBAs, something like that.
Yeah, right now, 6 All-NBAs, 10 years, 7-time All-Star. All-Stars I don't really care about because it's the most worthless accolade, I think. So
I think All-Stars matter. I think it shows your icon and your popularity, and you have to have a certain skill set too, especially how it's voted on now. So it's not that, like how I understood it before with Yao Ming, where he just got voted in because he's Chinese, essentially.
Yeah.
Not that he wasn't a good skill player, but it was different back then. I think they do it differently now. But if I had to say, I definitely think he's better than Reggie Miller. Or Earl the Pearl. Somebody like Ray Allen, who I think is a little bit overrated as well, overappreciated. So
yeah, absolutely.
If I had to guess, he'd probably be top 30 off the top of my head, but I don't know.
Top 30? Oh, like I said, not rating. It's hard to rank someone when they're in the middle of their career, right? I agree with you 100% on that. Like I'm saying his accolades stack up, but we'll see what he does going forward here. Then we got Dirk at 18. And I have some opinions about Dirk, but go ahead. Let's see. What do you think about that?
This is the one I wanted to call out. I think this is so over the top. NMB Sports, Nick, you may be coming on Sunday. I doubt you're watching it right now. But I got Dirk rated number 52 all time. And that's because of can you read off some of his awards and accolades?
Yeah, I mean, one-time champion, one-time Finals MVP, 14-time All-Star, 12 All-NBA, no All-NBA defense. I mean, 27. Is that a top 20 resume? I don't really think so.
Yeah, he was generally All-NBA and All-Star. Well, a big majority of his career, but he wasn't winning scoring. He wasn't winning scoring titles. He had the 1 year where he won the MVP and Finals MVP. And again, it's not that it's not a fantastic career. It's just that I do not think it's number 18. It's too much, man. And
I think he gets a pumped up for the 2011 run, which was great. But I mean, you got to be consistent. Are you just doing it because it's had some great tools, or because I'm not putting him above someone like Moses Malone. I'm not putting him above David Robinson. I'm not putting him. I'm not putting him above Dr. J. I mean, I just think it's. Yeah, to see him here at top 20. I mean, if you want to talk to me about top 30, we can have that conversation. But top 20, I think is crazy.
Who's next? You want to lead off with them?
Admiral Robinson, and this to me is I feel maybe the most passionately about D-Rob out of anyone I've ever met. I get it. He came in. He went a couple prime years. Would probably spent in the Navy. I get it, and he came in though, but he's one of those guys who I think he's a top 3 two-way player of all time, especially if we're talking impactful, because he turned that team from the worst defensive team in the league to the best, basically one of the best throughout his entire career, up until he was out of his prime, and then to Nugget. But David Robinson, I think, is wildly underrated. I have him at 12, but 19 is crazy.
No, I have it about right. So I have him at actually number 20. So, again, all these guys have had fantastic careers. So somebody says, "Hey, Michael," in Stream Craze. Yeah,
not sure what that is, but Michael here. Yeah. But I mean, David Robinson
hold on one second. I'm here. Just keep talking.
David Robinson, I think, is one of the most underrated players of all time. I get it. You could talk about the accolade. He has 8-time All Defense, 10-time All Star, 10-time All NBA, a scoring title. He was winning rings as not the best player on his team. I get that, but he didn't join until the NBA. He was 24, right? If he gets in there at 22, who knows where he is. But to me, I put him a lot higher than most people. I get that. But let's see here. Rounding out the top 20 is Dr. J. None other than Dr. J. I mean, I've seen Dr. J is maybe the most, I don't want to say all over the player when I've seen him. I've seen him on lists that he has of top 5. I've seen him top 10. I've seen him top 40. It really just depends. But if you're counting all of his ABA stuff and everything like that, it's pretty crazy there. But I mean, he's a fantastic player. I mean, you have he's obviously an NBA champion, 2-time NBA champion, 4-time MVP. So if you're counting all that together, his resume definitely stacks up. I don't have any problem with him being number 20. He might have been. I mean, I think he has a case for being top 15 all time. I don't know. It's it's crazy. I mean, his resume I think is underrated. Not a lot of people know about it.
Are you talking about Dr. J?
Yeah.
Oh, and you're talking including ABA, right?
Yeah, so they include all the ABAs for the players here, all the stat accolades they include here. And so, I mean, if you include that, I think he has maybe even a top 10 resume, honestly.
Yeah, but he's got the 4 scoring titles, if I'm not mistaken. He's got 3 championships and then 4 MVPs.
Yeah.
And then the All ABAs, the All NBAs. He won the All NBA, or I think he won essentially the Finals MVP or the Playoffs MVP for the All ABA a couple times. And then the All Teams essentially and the All Stars. So somebody who's just way overlooked, and then you want to slide him up to here. I have him number I have a number 16 with this set. So I have a number 16. So it's about right for me with that, all things said, with the NBA and the ABA.
Yeah, 16. That's not for sure. I'm not sure who this individual is in our chat here. Stream Craze. I think it's he had been, but yeah, Julius Erving. I think he's very polarizing as far as people trying to rank him, just because you talk about it. Same thing with the next guy. I mean, if we're going up here, Moses Malone. I mean, I think he's underrated myself, big time.
I think the way people talk about him, he's underrated. I've got him at number 24 at this point. But yeah, multiple rebounding champion, 3-time MVP, won the championship, finals MVP, a bunch of all NBAs. He just didn't get the all defensive teams, if I'm not mistaken. I can't read all of these accolades. I'm just going off the top of my head. So
yeah, no, you're on there. I mean, they're on. He has 8-time All NBA, 13 All Star, 2 All Defense, 6 rebounding titles. He has the 3 MVPs too. So I think he has an argument for one of the best in the 80s. But it's pretty crazy. But I mean, the rest of these guys, as you see the list goes on there, like just a quick breakdown here. We have Moses Malone. Top 30, you have Karl Malone, who I think is. We'll mention it. I think Karl Malone is maybe just right. If you think Dwayne Wade at 23, Giannis at 24, Charles Barkley 25. I have thoughts on Giannis, but what are your thoughts here? Again, it was D Wade and Karl Malone.
Giannis, with the totality and what he's done in his career so far is fantastic. I mean, there's only so many players that have won a Defensive Player of the Year and the MVP in the same season, and I think he won if I'm not mistaken, he won the championship and the Finals MVP that year, right? Was it all in the same year, or was that a separate?
I think it was a separate where he won the DPOY. Honestly, no, I think he won the score. He won it in 2021, the championship, right? And then he has those accolades though, and I think it's his output to be there. I think he's underrated. He's to me at the end of his career he'll be at least top 15, just because of how dominant he is, and how hard it is to win an MVP probably in the iteration of the league. To be honest.
Yeah. Karl Malone for me, I have him outside of the top 30. I got him at number 32. You said Barkley?
Damn, not even the top 20 or 22. Dwayne Wade at 23 is interesting. But yeah, then as it goes, Giannis and then Barkley. Those are the top 20, 25 there.
Wade and Barkley, I both have way farther up. I got Wade at 38 and Barkley at 48.
Ooh, man. No love for the round mound.
I think I like him. I'm just saying that, like, what are the results? I mean, how many all defenses does he have? 0?
No, you're right. 0. Yeah, because he wasn't standing out. You're gonna be upset. I picked out some of these other names here, and to be honest, I'm gonna be with you on that because they're. You see these resumes, right, of these guys that we're looking at here, like Dirk and Charles Barkley, right? These guys are considered top 30 players, but if you keep going, right, like ahead of Elgin Baylor, then we're gonna have guys like Hondo, and I don't know where they have Kuzi at. I'd have to look, but he's way up here.
Yeah,
like
that's wild.
Yeah, I think Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, no.
Isaiah Thomas, I think, is super overrated.
Yeah, I got him 44.
44. Scottie
Yeah.
Pippen, where do you guys see this has been a contentious time. Where do you have Scottie Pippen right now?
28.
You do?
Yeah.
Wow, so exactly where he is here, huh?
Oh, it is 28? Yeah, I have him exactly 28. He's got the all NBAs, all defenses, and he's got all the championships, man. You can't, and the all-stars. You can't really argue it. And he's got a couple steals titles.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great area for Pippen. I've had people try to say that he's like a top 15 player of all time. No. I don't care that you say what he could have been without Mike. Like he played without Mike for like 6-7 seasons, right? He didn't have any MVPs, no finals MVPs, no real accolades. Like, I don't care what you say. He just knew it. You know, he wasn't that guy. He wasn't the best player in the league here outside of Michael Wood. And so, I mean, if you want to, I think he's a great player. Top 30 with someone with no MVPs or no finals MVPs is no statistical titles other than a steal title. Is, you know, whatever. He deserves it. But John Stockton at 29. Chris Paul, top 30.
I have Chris Paul a lot higher. I got Chris Paul at actually number 11. But you got to look at his career though, and just as a sidebar, I haven't said this for a while. Your mic is really scratchy. I don't know what's up with it.
Interesting. Might be my,
But with Chris Paul, I can't read what's on the screen here, but if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a 6-time assist champion, a 5-time steals champion. He's been all NBA and all defense his entire career, and he's gotten all-stars pretty much his entire career. So he's just constantly on top of the league with the individual awards and the titles. And then I think he won an all-star MVP once, if I'm not mistaken. But just being consistent like that, being considered the top of the league for such a long period of time, and that's not even including his totals with the assists and the steals. He's near the top of for both of them, and just being on top and his notoriety as a point guard. Now, is he my favorite player? No, but I think you have to recognize what he's done over the course of his career.
No, I agree. I mean, I've had Chris Paul higher than 30 for some time. I don't know if I had him officially ranked. I think I had him in the top like 20, maybe 20. All because I agree with you. I mean, he's very consistent on both ends. One of the few players to have that combination. You know, all defenses to that degree. The steal titles, yeah, he has the 5 steals titles. He has the 5 assist titles, 6 steals titles. That's a crazy combination right there. So he's playing a high end for a long period of time, and just one of those guys who, you know, didn't happen to be in the best situation. But I think guys like Chris Paul were super underrated, and this is where you hear the term ring culture come in. I agree, winning rings is important, but there's always context to it, right? There's always, especially a lot of rings. There's a lot of you're almost certainly going to look at guys who one of the best situations possible. And Chris Paul, guys like Chris Paul and Kevin Garnett are dudes like, they're just fantastic basketball players, you know, and they just weren't in the same situation some of the other greats are. Otherwise, they'd be a lot higher. Like you said, I'm not mad at you having him 11. I think I can't put him up there, but 11, like I think 30 is way, way too low for Chris Paul. So, but then we got, here we go. He's your boy. Havlicek here.
I got him at 21 for me. And
okay.
Yeah. I mean, another guy that's just got a plethora of awards. He's got the 8 championships that really stand out. Fantastic totals, and then the All-NBAs, All-Stars, and the All-Defenses as they came to be. He was consistently even over 30 years old getting All-NBA first-team defense. So, I mean, that I think speaks for itself, especially being at that NBA geriatric age, to be able to get that award at such that period of his career. And it makes you wonder, a lot of the critics that talk about, oh, well, the NBA was white. Well, at that point during the mid 70s, it really wasn't that white anymore. It's not that there wasn't white players, but to say that it was T Perfect dropped out, but to say that it was so wildly different or it was just so wildly overpopulated with white people, it's just as untrue at that point. And John Havlicek showing, especially at his age, that he was able to do that is absolutely fantastic. So I don't have control over his screen. Well, let's see if he comes in. Oh, here he is. He's back.
Yeah, not sure what it just cut out for a second there. That was crazy to me. Yeah, weird. Anyway, no, I've heard everything you were saying though, and yeah, Havlicek. I think look at that, 8 all defensive teams selections, and he was part of the dynasty, right? So
he was, and the all defense didn't even come out until midway through his career.
What was it, 70? Yeah, crazy. But Havlicek, I think, is there. I think maybe underrated. Kawhi Leonard.
It's about right.
I think Kawhi's
got him 26.
26.
Yeah, I. Sorry, my son keeps running back and forth. Okay, there's a centipede in my house. Okay. Anyway, I understand why people think he's overrated. I can see why people say he's overappreciated, especially for not playing as many games. He really did have quite a few fantastic seasons, though, being recognized for playing both sides of the court. And then just 2014, you got the Toronto season as well. But yeah, no, I get why people consider him overappreciated, overrated. I mean, what is it really because of injuries for you, or are there for other reasons?
To me, I mean, I might have him a little bit higher, but I think this is fine. But yeah, I think when you take everything in consideration, like how healthy have you been, how many games you're playing. Obviously, he has 2 DPOIs there, 2 Finals MVPs, which is huge. They were on 2 different teams. And I think that does start to affect you after a while. If you can't be counted on, you're great when you play, but how often are you playing? So that's. But to me, I think if people I've seen people have him a lot higher, just because of how great he is as a 2-way player, or potentially. We'll see how he finishes out his career. Right, he's expected to be like that guy. We'll see if he's healthy next year, he can make some more noise. But I'm not really mad at them having him at this point. It's his career could have been a lot better than what it was now, but it is what it is with him. Jason Kidd. So the next few here we have Jason Kidd at 33, James Harden at 34, which I've heard, Steve Nash at 35. So, but I mean, just those 3 guys. I think maybe this is just me, but I think Jason Kidd is underrated. How about you?
In some ways, I do think he's a little overrated in a lot of ways, though. Because I got Kidd at 37. I had one guy that was mentioned earlier, I had Dwayne Wade at 38. Harden I got at 42, and Steve Nash at 43. So
yeah, I guess the only 2-time MVP, right? That he's not going to be at least top 30, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, what about his all NBAs and all defenses and all stars?
Yeah,
what's he got? Like
that matters.
6 or 7.
Right now, he just has the 8-time All Star, 7 All NBA, no All Defense, 5 assist titles, but
Oh, you're talking Nash. I was talking Kidd at
Nash,
that point.
Yeah. No, Kidd, I think is when we're talking Kidd, because you talk about 2-way players, he has a 9 All Defense, right? 10 All Star, 6 All NBA, more All Defense than All NBA.
Yeah.
5 assist titles. To me, I think he's a top 5 point guard of all time. So,
yeah, I I don't think I did the math wrong. Let me look. Where is he? I don't know. I got to relook at that. I don't think I did it wrong though.
Yeah.
But I got to get going soon. But there's 3 guys that I have really high up that weren't on here, and I just want to mention them before I get going, because we could do this whole list, but
Yeah.
guys
Who were you thinking of specifically? We could just round out the top 40.
yeah, Bob Cousy. I have Bob Cousy number 11. I got instead of I got sorry. This is why I like to do things in the morning, because my family's awake and I'm in the middle of the kitchen.
It's all good.
So anyway, I got Bob Cousy at number 11. I got where is he? Sorry, I'm on the wrong page. I got Bob Cousy at number 8, excuse me. I've got Bob Pettit at number 17, and I got George Mikan at number 18. None of these guys have been mentioned up through top 30, and I think all of them, even with the lack of awards at their time, absolutely deserve to be way higher, at the very least top 20. Somebody like George Mikan particularly just had a fantastically potent career. If you go and you look at all of that, I did see that somebody ranked him at the highest, number 10 all time, which I was happy. I was happy somebody actually gave him some sort of credit. And then Bob Pettit also had a fantastic potent career. Same with Bob Cousy. But those 3 guys.
Yeah, they rank Cousy at 37.
And that's the first appearance out of any of those 3?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Cousy at 37. Then they have Pettit at 38. And then, your other guy, Rick, I'm looking for, because I know where you're talking about. George Mikan at 44.
Yeah. Those are crimes. Those are crimes against
that is a crime. Cousy, just the resume alone is a top 20 player at worst. I don't know how you have him this high or this low. Look, he has the 6-time champion. Sure, he would arguably be the Finals MVP for at least 3 of those. 13-time All-Star, 12 All-NBA, 8 assist titles. How do you have John Stockton ahead of this man? Because he's matching him with the assist titles, right? Or he's the better scorer, best scorer on his team, also generally speaking, and he has 6 rings.
Yeah.
What are they thinking here? It's just anyway.
They're not. It's a bunch of guys that they got era bias, and a lot of them, because you can even read George Mikan's bio where they say George Mikan invented the Mikan drill, which is not true. So if you know barely anything, and I'm not saying I know a lot because I don't, but something as simple as that, it's easy to fall into that trope because it's named after him that he invented it, but it's just not the case. So that's how researched they are, is that they put this guy super low, and they don't even know that he didn't invent the drill named after him.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's were our thoughts on, at least we went up to like a best, just summarize about the top 40. Obviously, you guys can all chop it up. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion, but I mean, all in all, I think it's not the worst list I've ever seen. All in all, I think, there were some places where we're like, you know what, the crimes were here. It shows that, maybe the popularity, the recency bias, like you said, is hugely present in some of these rankings. But otherwise, you see some of the familiar names. Obviously, we disagree on some of the ordering here. But all in all, I'm sure we'll talk about this again at some point. It'll come up. But you'll stay tuned, guys, for our next Lights Out. This is a debate, which is Saturday here. And we will be dealing, again, just remind you, it will be the team aspect this time. Which one is greater, the 96 Bulls or the 01 Lakers? Dark there will have the 06 or 96 Bulls. I will be doing the 01 Lakers. You will tune in for that to see who will win that debate. And it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a good one, but then we'll see if what we can do to get some other people up here. And who knows who will have us judges, maybe some guest stars. So
hopefully NMB Sports comes by on Saturday, or I thought we were going to do it on Sunday. I thought we made a decision.
You're right.
Sunday.
Sunday. I'm used to saying Saturday, but Sunday is the day. Yep, 100%.
Yeah, we're moving it to Sunday, noon Eastern Standard Time. We're going to prime time YouTube basketball
Exactly.
Discussion.
We get the big numbers there that way.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm excited to bring in that new aspect of it. Hopefully Nick can come by, judge, and then you watching, you can come and vote on if you disagreed with him, if you agreed with him, and just give your perspective otherwise and who you thought won. And if you're interested in joining the show, you can email email the channel Michael Jordan Fans Reborn at gmail.com if you'd like to, as well as just leave a comment with your information. We can go and try to contact you there otherwise, or check us out on Discord. You can go, and just to shout these guys out, you can go to the Takes Debates Discord. You can find either of us there as well. So anyway, yeah, I thought this was a fantastic discussion. And then I know T Perfect, you haven't figured out specifically maybe a theme or anything like that, but you're thinking about doing your own individual show as well.
Yeah, that's one thing you guys can also look forward to is we're still hashing it all out, inside the days, but we'll most likely each one of us have our a day where we'll just do a certain quick show with a theme that we'll decide on, and different topics, but we'll do that just to kind of keep the content coming for you guys throughout the week, and obviously with the main event every Sunday, and we'll go from there. And with the main goal, obviously, is to get as much as you guys involved, not only just watching, but involved in the debates up here, where we can take days off and judge you and see what you guys bring to the table. And so that'll be really fun when we get that up and running.
Absolutely. And we got to do a sign out too. We got to figure out the sign out. What's the sign out going to be?
The sign out, I would say, yes. I mean, you guys, the intro was, hey, Lights Out podcast, where, hey, we dare to debate, and we dare you to debate us or each other. We'll maybe think of a better sign out, but I think us or each other is great for now.
No. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us.